Hey, it's Nick and Akio from Shavrock. You're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Welcome back to the Mental
A
Madness!
brutally delicious podcast.
This is 70,000 Tons of Metal, the original but world's biggest heavy metal cruise. 60 bands, 4 days, one cruise ship, only 3,000 tickets. It's like having an all-access backstage pass. January 29th to February 2nd, 2026. From Miami, Florida to Nassau, the Bahamas, and back. 70,000 tons of metal. What are you doing next winter?
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Hey.
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Doing well.
Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So you guys are up in Baltimore, right?
Yes.
I was just up there this week. I'm in Richmond.
Oh, so not too far away.
No,
I think
actually, my son, I
Wonderful.
helped him move in. He moved into, him and his girlfriend moved into a place in White Marsh, which I guess
Sure.
is just very,
Yeah, it's 15 minutes away from us.
yeah. So I was just up there the whole weekend. I just got back last night.
So funny.
So we can just jump right in then if you want. For those,
Sure.
Let me backtrack for 1 second. One of the things I like doing about this show is I come across bands that I never would have. There's too many bands out there, right? So coming across things that I like is pretty cool, and the exposure is great. So for those like myself who weren't familiar with Shavrock, who should be, can you give us like the 2 sentence elevator boardroom pitch?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you like great guitar, melodic vocals, and storytelling and positivity, that's what we're about.
Okay. And record came out on August 5th, right? I'm trying to read my notes here. So Hope Family was out August 5th. What's been the response to it so far?
It really has been an incredible response, amazing feedback. People just keep talking about how blown away they are by the album, and it just means so much to us because we put in so much effort and time, and obviously we couldn't have done it without Bumblefoot, but just everyone coming together and to produce such an incredible product has really been very special for us, honestly.
Yeah, I know my reviewer Dark loved it, so his review was pretty great
Yes,
of it as well.
yes, we were pleasantly surprised.
How did you mention Bumblefoot? That was later in my questions, but how did that come about?
So that's a great question. I would say a couple years ago, I think I did a guitar shred on Instagram. I think I tagged him because, if you're in the guitar world, you always know about Bumblefoot. He's a legend. And I tagged him, and then he liked it. He commented. I couldn't believe it. And then he followed me. So, and I followed him back, of course. And so I was following him for about a year, and then I saw he's coming to Baltimore for a show. So I'm like, oh, so I messaged Ron. I'm like, I would love to meet you. So I ended up going down to the show, and it was incredible. We hit it off, but that was sort of it.
Right.
That was like 2.5 years.
That was like 2.5 years ago, yeah. And then I see again last year, I see that he's coming again to Baltimore. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go down and talk with him and see if he. I always knew that he was an amazing guitar player. I didn't know how much recording, producing he did, and obviously I found out. But so I went down there, and I ended up. It was a crazy long story, but in summary, I ended up getting in contact with him there, and he pulled me backstage, and he was the nicest guy. And I said, "Ron, do you do any
He is the
recording?"
nicest guy.
He really is. He really is. And yeah, he's like, touch. Let's set up a Zoom meeting, and we'll go from there. And the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Years and years ago, probably, I mean, in the Guns N' Roses days, I guess, when he was playing with them, I was putting out a couple cookbooks. They were, for those about to cook, they were called, and they had recipes from, musicians and famous musicians. And he
So
jumped
cool.
on board like one of the first ones on and made his homemade blueberry muffins, and it was great. And I still talk to him to this day. He's such a nice guy.
He really, really is. He's definitely a foodie. He has his own hot sauce line, and we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, him and his wife made blueberry muffins. Ask him to make them for you next time you see him.
Yeah, for sure.
We definitely will.
Food actually became a big part of our recording journey with him because we actually have some like dietary restrictions because we keep kosher. So where he is up in Princeton, there's no real like kosher restaurants or anything. So the first time we went up there with some, I don't know, tuna sandwiches or some, some cold cuts, stuff like that. And then we're just like, why are we roughing it? So we went out, we bought a travel grill, and the next time we were bringing out ribeye steaks, and we're grilling, we're cooking, and we're spoiling him, to say the least. So we have some funny stories with that stuff, actually, because I'd be like, when we were, part of the time we were down there was in the winter, and it was snowing. We actually drove up through like a blizzard to get there one Saturday night. It was a nightmare, but I'm like, I'm freezing. The snow is coming down. He's like, bring the grill inside. So I'm like, so I'm grilling in the kitchen. I
had the door obviously cracked open.
Come on.
But we're grilling in the kitchen. And I don't remember if they were tracking drums or whatever it was. But he's like,
They got smoked
they got
out.
smoked out on the second story. The smoke is rising. He's like, I got a CNN interview in like an hour. My eyes are all red. They probably think I'm high. It's from all the grill smoke from downstairs.
It was very funny.
We had some really good times, some great memories, and the recording was really amazing. It was really an amazing process and learning experience, especially at the level that he's at. To
Was it intimidating?
Yes.
Oh, unbelievable! I mean, you could tell him about tracking guitar solos.
Yeah, the guitar solos was the main thing that was intimidating. Everything else kind of was, that's fine. But you're sitting there, you're trying to play guitar, you're trying to lay down a solo, and you have like one of the greatest to ever do it,
right,
watching you. He's looking at you. He's not even just looking at you. He's looking at you. And I'm just like,
yeah, I had to like mentally get over that and be like, okay, Akiva, I got a job to do. I got to lay down this solo. And once we got past that, it was great. But yeah, it's still very intimidating, because Ron is just such an unbelievable guitar player.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, let's dive a little deeper if you're okay.
Sure.
So can we go real deep and then backtrack from there? Imagine Shavrock is hosting a Hope Found Me themed dinner party. What dishes and colors would capture the spirit of your music?
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, if it was me, I would honestly say I would try to match the album art, just because it sort of became our sort of trademark or style.
Kind of.
It was sort of.
What's the color of Hope, though? I think it's like,
That's why to me, to me that's why my mind goes to the album cover where it says "Hope Found Me."
An array of colors.
Exactly.
So I would say actually that kind of makes sense because the concept is that people in
You can
general.
show them.
You can see actually, this is our album cover.
So you see, yeah.
Dude, it's kind of almost like, to a certain extent, like it's an array of colors. And I think that actually does speak to what hope is that people are all so varied and different.
Yeah.
And come from all different colors. People are actually different colors. They come from different life experiences, different places and backgrounds. And I think actually that's why this is very symbolic, this colorful theme. Because the idea is that hope transcends to all people. And it's something that we all need in our lives today. I think
more so than ever.
More so than ever. I think it's the most important. That's why we stuck with that name for the album title. It was just the most important message. What was the other part of your question? You're saying the colors, and then what else?
Dishes.
Dishes.
The dinner party. You got to have some kind of.
Yeah. So I mean, if it was me, I would try to match, the different colors in the album cover. But I don't know.
What are the dishes? I mean, for me, I don't know. Steak is always something I'd be going for. Good ribeye steak. At a dinner
I don't know
party.
if you mean the dishes, the actual plates, or.
Oh, you're talking about the dishes or the food?
I mean, I guess I didn't think that far, so now you've got me. You'll have to.
I've never gotten that question before, so.
So I'm sorry ahead of time. I like to ask stuff completely out of the box.
It was totally fun, and I honestly think, as Nick was saying, how the different colors and everything sort of express the fact that our music sort of transcends, everything,
every walk of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of the idea is to not have a message that appeals to just one type of person,
right? Universal message.
And ironically, the feedback.
How important is that to you? Is that like the most important thing?
Super important, because we're all about trying to give messages to other people that can help them in some certain way. You never know, a small piece of poetry that you write, how deeply it affects certain people. I had a guy who is in his mid upper 70s come over to me, and he's after Hope Fountain was released, and he was very emotional, and he said he had just lost his wife a couple of weeks earlier, and he said, I can't tell you how much this song spoke to me.
Right.
And I had a guy overseas, his brother came over to me, and he said, my brother overseas, who I think was either in AA or, was in some kind of addict of some sort, he's like, dude, this song just spoke to him on every level. Yeah. And then we had people that were in the army who were saying the same thing. So it was so interesting all over the world, in different places, different age groups, different walks of life, how deeply it affected so many people. And that was like very eye-opening for us, because we didn't realize how powerful the messages can be. And that's part of, this is our first main project, and we're learning a lot from it. And we're learning a lot.
How humbling is that?
Super humbling.
Very, yeah, absolutely. It's this is all very, very new for us. So granted, we've been sitting on the music and we've been performing for friends and family for many years. But to actually go to this,
getting outside of that box,
yeah, exactly,
like more people,
and to put it on such a larger scale is really very, very humbling.
Do you find a sense of responsibility then to your listeners to bring that message across, or do you just write from the heart and hope they pick up on it?
I would say it's a mix of both. I think it
came naturally to you, honestly.
Yeah, I try very much so in my own life to have a positive outlook on a lot of things, which is a struggle at times, I'll admit.
Oh yeah.
But I want to portray that message to people that are going through things in their lives, that there are things to look forward to. That we may not have become who we thought we would be, but when you wake up in the morning, you're grateful to God for allowing you to wake up that day. It's a new day that you can start fresh.
Yeah. And
the past doesn't matter anymore. It's things like that are very important to me, to be able to portray that message to people. And
that's sort of sorry, I'm going to interrupt, but that's a timeless message, but also one that is so stinking important right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah,
exactly. And we realize that. And we're writing. I'm already starting on the second album or third album. We already have so much music that we've composed that we have a lot of things that we in our brains that we're planning on doing. But in terms of fresh new music that we're hoping for the next record or the third record, I'm already writing it, and it's slightly different ideas, maybe even a little bit of a heavier edge than this first record, but the words mean a lot. That's really the bottom line. The words mean a lot.
And there's a lot of storytelling. There's a lot of stuff going on. But do you ever feel like you've put too much of yourself into a song? You're too vulnerable and like, dang, I shouldn't have said that, or what's grandma gonna think, or great grandma gonna think, or anything like that?
I've thought about that a lot, actually. I tried at times to not put so much of myself in the songs. I try very hard, because
but does that end up censoring it then?
No, there are some songs that there are parts of me in 100%, because it's like everybody, as I said, universal messages. Everybody can use that. Sometimes I write things that I need to hear. Right. So there's that. But at the same time, sometimes you don't want people asking too much about yourself and your personal life. But there are definitely elements of myself, and there's things that are more fictional and more to
At the same time, for instance, we have a song called "Stranger or Angel," and that literally
is
a true story, word for word, what happened to Nick as he was driving up on a trip, and he gets a flat tire, and a remarkable guy, out of the kindness of his heart, doesn't know Nick, and he ends up helping him out. And then he wrote that song right afterwards. And I
wrote the song in the car as I was departing from that place. Yeah. What's actually interesting about that's from beginning to end, every single word is a true story. And what people don't know about this, at concerts, I've been starting to let people in on some little details about it. I could try to touch upon it really quickly if we have the time.
Sure. Yeah.
What was amazing about that story was, first of all, we were in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. I was about to drive all the way up to Canada, and another 10 hours to go or so. And we're in the middle of nowhere. I pull up, and within minutes, not half an hour, not an hour, not 2 hours sitting there, minutes, this tow truck pulls up next to me. This guy is kind of, he's in his overalls. He's not, very presentable,
Right.
Not even approachable. But I go up to this guy and I ask him to help me. We kind of just looking at each other. And to kind of summarize what happens next is this guy is unloading my car for me. He's helping me. My back went out that day, which kind of sucked. So I'm doing the best that I can. He's helping me. We're going through the motions here. He ends up helping me patch this tire. We find a tire repair kit inside of this gas station. And then, what goes on beyond that, there are little things that were just so unbelievable to me. He wouldn't take money from me. I was saying, I got to pay for this. I got to give you something, please. Sure. The least that I can do for what you're doing for me. And
it's all in the song.
It's all in the song. And one of the greatest lines that was in this song was, and this is my conversation with him. I said, there's not a lot of people out there like you.
Right.
And, or maybe he said to me, he said to me that actually, that there's not a lot of people out there like him, that in terms of that he's just going to drop everything, do for another person. The reason why he said that to me was because he said he's really been at many stages in his life, rock bottom. And he wished somebody would be there for him. It really shook me.
Everybody has. That's like a universal thing, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the thing that I don't always tell people that was the most amazing part about it, and this is why I say in the song, stranger or angel, this feels like a miracle. Why do I say that? Why did it seem so miraculous to me is that the amount of divine intervention that went into this is unbelievable. He tells me he's from Little Havana, all the way down in Florida, over 1,000 miles away.
Right.
And he literally had just driven up there to drop off a car with his tow truck. And he had just finished that, and he was turning around to gas up to go home.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you,
happen?
Not a religious guy at all here, but, chill listening to that story. So definitely some sort of, outside intervention, whatever it is, right?
The second that my door closed in my car and he left and he pulled off, the first thing that populated in my head was stranger or angel, this feels like a miracle. And the tune even came to me then. And the song, as soon as I finished, I drove up to Canada and I was able to get my hands on the guitar. I mean, that song, I had to write it all down. I had to write it all. Didn't want to forget a detail. And that song happened there. It was unbelievable.
So when you're playing that song live every night, you're reliving that, right? How do you kind of deal with that?
I mean, I praise God every day in my prayers. And I feel very connected to God. So it kind of reestablishes that faith to understand, that he's there to help me when I need him.
Right.
And
so, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Of course.
Appreciate and no problem with the thanking God, but it's also really good. There are good people, good humans out there as well.
Yeah, totally. That was also another thing, though. At the end of the day, is there's so many great people. We've met so many good people. I mean, Bumblefoot is
especially in this kind of community. There's a thing, an
really
unspoken thing.
Yeah, I mean, for Bumblefoot to literally, he took us under his wing, and I have to tell you, you remember I mentioned that, I met him, and then I said, Ron, can we work with you? And he's like, let's set up a meeting. He ends up doing this meeting for us, 2-3 hours
on Zoom, just going through about the music business.
Yeah,
just taking his time to be educational to us.
It was such a remarkable experience. And then when we go up, and he starts literally mentoring us and explaining how to produce a song. And we had great songs, but he just elevated them. Yeah. And it was just such a remarkable experience. And to see the kindness, and now we feel like he's a brother to us, really. We're that close. And so you just to see the goodness in so many people, it really is wonderful to see.
I mean, in general, we do try. I mean, it's always a challenge with life because you meet so many different people, but you always try to see the goodness in people, or you really try because it's hard right now. There's just so many things that are going on in this world that are very challenging and not great. So, to be optimistic or try to look at people with a different lens is something that we're trying to do. And we're trying to portray a message.
And I think you're in the right sort of genre, right? Because the hard rock, heavy metal genre is really, that accepting and that brotherly and that I've been in the metal scene for 40 years since Diary of a Madman or whatever. And it's always had that sort of community, you actually care about each other.
Yeah. I mean, for instance, we went down to Florida and Bumblefoot was at this rock and roll fantasy camp. He was one of the counselors there, and like, and we just came in as guests, sort of, just to hang out with Bumblefoot a couple nights, and even like the campers, and now they're all adults and everything like that. We played like a couple original songs, and these people were just so nice to us and so accepting and so excited. Like Bumblefoot played our album for them, and it just like it really blew us away. Right. To see people who don't know us whatsoever, and like there's a guy from like Pennsylvania. I do a lot of like YouTube lives and stuff like that, just to play guitar. People love that, as well as talk about the album. Sure. And you discover and meet these really fantastic people, like a guy from Texas randomly, and all these people that they send me a message, be like, you don't realize how much the music means to me. And like this guy sends us like a $200 camera out of the goodness of his heart for our lives. It's just like it really blew us away.
It crosses religions and races and everything, right? It's just everybody's bonding over the riff and the community, and there's nothing like it.
That's right.
Right. And that was something that, we've talked about this, I think, in the past, about what success means to different people. Because success is not about money. I actually, one of my favorite lines that I ever wrote was in a song on the record called Love in Essence. Yeah. And the line is, money is not what makes you a rich man. And we realize that because when you have a person that you've never met reach out to you to say, you have no idea what that song did for me.
Right.
That's success in our mind. That's it. Talking to people like that is what it is. And we also realize that music transcends through different age groups, different walks of life. The funniest thing is that we have people telling us that their kids' favorite song, these little kids in carpool, they're like, Daddy, you have to play for me The Boy I Used to Be. Every time they went in carpool, they're playing that song. Ironically, both of my girls, that's their favorite song.
Or my buddy's 3-year-old loves Bring Them Home. Yeah. But at the same time, we have an 80-year-old listening to our stuff and loving it. So it really is, it's a fascinating thing for us to experience this all, honestly.
I often say on the show that if you could take the microcosm of this community that we're talking about, the metal, hard rock community or whatever, and expand it like nationally, globally, it would be such a different world.
Oh yeah.
1,000%.
And when people go to a show, you're in that moment. It's kind of just like about mindfulness. In that moment, the only
transcendent thing for sure.
Everybody are doing is enjoying together the music that you're seeing and listening to. You're not thinking about the difficulties that you had in your life. You're not thinking about having a bad day. You're not thinking
current
about
events or nothing.
Person. It's about nothing. Ironically, Keith Urban, we were at a Keith Urban show fairly recently, and he said something interesting. He says, I want to give you guys 2 hours to forget all the horrible things that are going on in your life. Yeah. I want you guys to just be here with me.
Yeah. That's music's, that is what it is. That's the whole thing. In a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
That's exactly it.
We've really come to realize that through what we've been experiencing, which has been, a blessing to us.
I know I've been all over the place and we only have 8 minutes left, but I've got a couple more for you. Sorry, I just like to talk, so I know we got totally off track. But
it's great.
What's the sibling dynamic like?
Well, we're a year apart. We, obviously grew up together, but we always hung out together. We always had the same friend group.
We've done a lot together.
And especially when it came to music. So I started, we sort of both started playing guitar very young. My dad taught us, and then we went on our own journeys. Yeah, so Nick played lead guitar all the time. I played rhythm, and we would just jam together for years and years and years. And so it was always a very, very close relationship, especially when it came to music. And then obviously I blossomed with my lead guitar playing. And then, so that's why it's actually very unique in the sense that, like, on the album, a lot of people don't know this, so that there's many songs where the first portion of the solo is me, and then the second portion is Nick. Like in Burning Sky.
Over the friendly competition? Brotherly competition?
Exactly. Well, we have
sort of just appreciate what each other does.
Yeah, we have different.
Yeah,
exactly. We're similar. We have a lot of similarities as we were both influenced heavy by Slash and Zakk Wylde.
Right.
But at the same time, we have different techniques and stuff like that. I love tapping. He loves legato. And different techniques. And it was very, very cool to be able to combine our skills and come up with some incredible guitar solos. Like every time every time I turn on the album, I'm blown away how it came out. And obviously,
and he says that with all humbleness,
right.
because it's not just him.
Oh,
there's
sure.
so many
No,
other
I get
people.
that.
Bumblefoot's all.
Yeah, as I'm saying, how Bumblefoot produced it, it's incredible.
Right.
And obviously, we have 2 tracks where we actually feature Bumblefoot, where he plays 2 amazing guitar solos.
Unbelievable.
Right.
So that was such a dream come true, honestly,
Right.
For him to do that for us.
It was not, by the way, that was definitely and utterly not anticipated. We were just like, Ron, this just needs you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, you guys, and then he picks up his guitar, and all of a sudden the slide solo happens on aim, and you're like, oh my god.
On that fretless.
That was like,
when you talk about someone who's humble,
Yeah.
you know, Bumblefoot's picture would be in the dictionary. I'm
Right.
serious.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I'm with you. And
just
it's
an
funny you
incredible-
say that. It's really funny you say that because I've talked to Zach Wilde a bunch of times on this show, and
yeah.
he is the exact same person.
Exactly.
I mean, he
Yeah.
is
Another New
so
Jersey guy, right?
humble and so.
I think so.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm talking to
actually-
him, and he wants to know about me. Like, hey, how's your
Yeah.
family been, or whatever. I mean,
yeah,
it's,
I got to hang out with him on his
yeah.
tour bus for a couple minutes, and he was just like just such a
Down
down
to
to
earth
earth,
guy.
nice guy.
yeah.
Just living to breathe. So it was an amazing experience, especially for me because this guy had such an impact on my playing.
I don't think anybody or either of us impacts us more than Zach.
Right.
There's no question. We
Yeah.
grew up that, we've heard it. For us, is like our biggest influence probably ever was at the time was Rudolph Schenker and Matthias Jabs. Those are our 2 biggest, that the harmonies you'll see on this
Yes.
album is all the guitar harmonies, because that's what we love. We love Boston. We love the Scorpions. But in terms of like
The attack
the tack on, with a pick, there was nobody with the vibrato of Zach Wilde. And both of us, like, with that changed our life.
Yeah.
When we heard the No More Tears album, Ozzy,
Yeah.
that changed everything for us
Yeah.
forever. In terms
It's
of
funny
guitar.
you say that because yours was No More Tears, but I'm a bit older than you, so I remember clearly buying Diary of a Madman, like seeing it on the
Yeah.
shelf, and
Absolutely.
not even knowing who it was. Like I was in high school and it was just in the corner record store, and I picked it up, and my trajectory has changed forever. Like, those first couple notes of Over the Mountain, and I get chills and I'm totally sucked in.
Yeah,
We love anything Ozzy.
yeah, like Mr. Crowley, Bark at the Moon. I mean, it's the dream.
Yeah, all of that.
All those
Jake is so criminally underrated. It's
Oh, yeah.
insane.
beyond. That was one of my favorite solos, Bark at the Moon. Actually, yeah.
Totally.
So anyway, I am way in a rabbit hole, and I've got only a
Yeah.
few minutes left till the next. I could talk to you guys all day. This is great, but
Let's do this
Uh,
again.
yeah, let's do it again. Do you have any show plans? Are you touring?
We're waiting a little bit. Right now, we're just there's too many things going on in both of our lives, so we're kind of taking that part slow. We had some plans originally. We're going to do 2 actual album release shows with Ron, with Bumblefoot.
But he got busy.
We got busy. He's about to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always going somewhere. He's always got something on his schedule. But we're
definitely going to do local shows.
Local shows is our goal for right now. And also, we realize that we're promoting the album. We want people to listen to the album. Go through it a couple of times. Find a song that you really love.
Right.
So by the time you come to one of our shows,
You can sing
you
along.
can sing along, help us out, and we would really love that. It'll make the show that much more fun.
I'm going to keep track of your dates because I go visit my son up there in White Marsh quite often, so maybe I'll catch you.
Absolutely.
Or maybe we can grab a bite to eat. Or so. How far did you say you are?
Say it again.
How
Right
far
now,
are you
for like
from?
20 minutes.
Okay, yeah,
20
so maybe we can grab
minutes,
something to
that's
eat on the
it.
way or whatever. I'll let you know.
We're looking at. We're in the works right now of kind of creating our own small venue. With our drummer, we have this space that we could probably fit 150 people
Yeah.
in comfortably. We did a
Nice.
very small, intimate, album release show. It was just our closest friends and family. About 30 people maybe.
Sure.
And we did a show there, and it was people were just like after it was almost like a magical experience for a lot of us. And we realized that why are we not? It's a perfect venue. We have the space. It's actually a really nice space.
Right.
A vaulted ceiling. It's got a great
Chandeliers.
sound.
So yeah,
It kind of has some ambiance too. So we're thinking about doing shows there that we really are more in control of the venue, who comes, things like that. We're gonna maybe just sell private tickets.
Well, keep
And
me
I
in
think
mind.
that'd be really cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, send me. And then, so that's really all I've got. If fans want to find you, how can they do so? Can you give us your socials real quick?
Yeah. So if you go to Linktree/Shavrock Band, you'll get all of our socials. And then it's just Shavrock Band. So we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. So Shavrock Band, throw it into Google and you'll get our Linktree and all that good stuff. We're on Spotify, we're on all the big streaming platforms as well.
Thank you for bringing that message of hope. It's so timely and it's so needed, and I applaud you.
All right. Thank you for
Absolutely.
having
It's a
us.
real
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Hey, be well. Thanks for the music.
You do. Thank you.
Cheers, my friend. Bye.
Bye.